thing where they do evil, no one make person talk. Them say that Mayegun, that man too they talk. He too they talk. Say Mayegun diary, he dey hot like pepper. But every day, then they take money in bulk. Poor man picking, they the street, they hawk. Still them talk, say, make we no talk. But thank God, say, Mayegun don't come. So my people make you laugh, oh, yo, yo. Mayegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. My people make you shout, oh, yo, yo. Mayegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Mayegun the command of the masses, oh, yo,
Hello there. Good morning to you, good afternoon to you, and good evening to you from wherever you are watching from. This is Mayegun Live.
Glory Facebook, glory YouTube, Mayegun Diary, Mayegun number one.
Thank you so much for joining me. Read the caption of the broadcast. Read the description as well. Share the broadcast. Pay your offering by liking the broadcast before you continue. Thank you. APC, Egbekegbe, using what is called reverse psychology. I am going to explain that to a lot of those who probably don't know how that works tonight. What today? If you know if you take up, no watch am o.
Glory Facebook.
If Numbu's forgery seems to be taking shines away from the real thing that are really affecting you. So share the broadcast. Somebody asked me, are Nigerians too poor or too scared to fight? I said I will ask them. Share this. A lot of people I have spoken to as well, they sincerely and honestly confess to me, Mayegun, Nigeria has no future. We are living at the next available chance. Thank you. Good morning to you once again, and good afternoon to you. Good evening to you as well, from wherever you are watching from. It is Mayegun, and it is also live. I bet it's actually weekend for majority of us joining the broadcast at this time, especially live. Now, if you have been following the development in Nigeria, especially in the last 6 months, where I'm about to take you next will not be strange to you. But even if you have not really been so conversant with it, of course, I have a way of reconnecting everyone back to then and now and then the future. A lot of people are living what you can call a pretentious, fake life. I am talking about those who choose to stand the truth on its head, even when they themselves are hurting. I know that Tifnumbu's forgery is taking most of the media space as we speak. But there are other injurious destruction that these guys are already doing. The impact of them are not even being discussed, talk less of them being taken up on this. On Mayegun's Diary Politico, the temple of truth, the place where even if you are lying to yourself, if you are lying to the public, if you are making up appearances, when you watch Mayegun's Diary Politico, and then you figure out that this is your life story being actually played out in front of you, when you are all by yourself, you are likely not going to lie to yourself, because the destruction that APC, Egbekegbe, represents is not limited to those who reject them and continue to reject them, right? Even those of you who were loyal, supportive, submissive, they are zombies in so many ways. You are not spared, and that is what affects you, not your different, what do you call it? Your different differences, rather, your differences, as you put it, your political differences, and whatever you think you believe in. Like some would say, everybody has a right to their own opinion, or the right to their own political opinion and all of that, which is true. But sometimes the people who hold this kind of views are at the same time not ready to be held responsible for the consequences of such views and actions. That is where we used to have problems. Let's say those of you who are watching me right now supported these criminals from 2015. And a lot of you probably feels like, you made mistake. And this mistake is now costing generations their own future. And these guys don't give a damn. Even though they still have a handful of sympathizers that do not probably know how much they are also destroying themselves by giving these people those tiny enablements. Now, if this is going to sound somehow like, what is he talking about? Let us start it from the real actors and the events. 5 or so months ago, Tifnumbu was sworn in as your president. And before then, Nigeria was already in a hole, a dark hole. 8 years prior, Nigeria, one of the promising, according to those predictions then, Nigeria, one of the promising growing economy that will be top 3 economies in the world by 2020. And those facts kind of spoke for themselves, because that was when Nigeria had about 13.5 million officially unemployed people and over 20 million underemployed. As if that is even worse. 8 years after that, Nigeria is now wallowing in the world poverty index, the poverty capital of the world, with the country with the highest number of unemployed people and underemployed people. Now, they now summer them with what is inflation, economic suicide. 8 years, APC, Egbekegbe ruined. What could have been the step into the future became the step into the oblivion. And they stood their chance. So they stood their ground, never took responsibility. And indeed, they called everyone out. They kind of went after everyone that called them out. 8 years of total destructions of lives, properties, including generations. Nigeria jumped from the country that was producing 2 million barrels of crude oil every day to a country that was losing over 700,000 barrels of crude oil every day, and then producing less, at the same time, plundering away whatever was coming from that, what was left over. Nigeria jumped from the indebtedness of 7.5 billion US dollars to over 150 billion US dollars today. Nigeria currency, through their own Buharinomics, they destroyed jobs, they destroyed businesses, they destroyed lives. They destroyed the Naira. Nigeria Naira lost its own value. Listen to this. Nigeria Naira lost over 550% of its value. Today, every Naira in your pocket is priced less. I mean, I'm talking about 3/4 less of its value. And the criminals who did all of that, they even created a confusion that plunged the country into what those who probably were watching the development in Nigeria, called economists and whatever they call themselves, right, are still yet to come back and tell us what exactly was the cost of the change of Naira. Not just the cost of printing the new Naira and the mix of the old Naira. I'm talking about the economic cost of what that confusion created. They haven't told you. People gone down the drain. Businesses died during that period. And the criminals who did all of that, they came back with what they call renewed hope 5 months ago. Subsidy was gone. Was a very fancy word that it was like a tsunami that was, they didn't want anyone. What was going to eat them? It eats everyone. Then they started, okay, how do we rescue them? With no plan of any rescue in mind, they opened another door of embezzlement. You witnessed all of that. In a space of 5 months, a country so indebted that all our revenue, 98 to 99% of our revenue goes into debt servicing, making nothing, right? Of course, the news of, the reality of having a drug baron or a drug dealer, a certificate forger, election rigger as your president is like salt on injury. Of course. But have you not noticed something, which is where I want to get you to now? How APC, Egbekegbe, even though they continue to say that social media is their #1 enemy, because it is on this same social media that even when the crowd continue to go one direction, which everybody will know the end result, there will always be some conscious people that will bring everybody back from that ride. In the last 2 weeks, even Tifnumbu and his gang, they have invested so much in the media to try and change the narrative of his certificate forgery. Something that is so huge and so beyond Nigeria that prompted the reactions of all of us, including non-Nigerians. But somehow, a lot of energy has been spent on this, just like a lot of energy was also spent on the 25% Abuja FCT votes. There were those who were so invested on this Abuja 25%, and then the issue of his drug forfeiting in America, as well as what else again was in the offing then. To the point that when it comes to the election, it was all about 25% in Abuja. Now, it seems that when it comes to the Supreme Court right now, it's going to be about a certificate forgery. That narrative that they have managed to help you drive long enough until it runs out of its mileage. But there are other damages going on. The real one that should, by no small means, make you concerned, give you so much concerns. APC, Egbekegbe, have no plan of taking you out of any economic doldrum. They are even willing and ready to dip you further in them. Now, let's talk about the economic reality of today for those who agree and those who disagree, possibly those who are still pretending. Usually when you tell Nigerians, or should I say when politicians want to deceive Nigerians, politicians that have failed to invest in real infrastructure that actually helps production. And when you have a lot of production, you have a lot of jobs, then you can begin to build standard on what should be the standard of all those stuff, and then you begin to build the living standard out of that economy. In Nigeria today, or should we even go back to 8 years ago, it was so sweet on paper when APC, Egbekegbe, said they were going to give you, I don't know if you still remember, I will remind you, that they were going to give you, 10,000 megawatts of electricity every year for 4 years. That would be 40,000. They will give you one refinery every year. And for 4 years, that would be 4 brand new refineries. And with the electricity, with the improvement in the electricity generation, factories, businesses, they will begin to save so much money from what they spend in alternative electricity or power. It was so sweet on paper. They said all they needed was to ensure that they blocked all the loopholes, corruption, and the corrupt people. In fact, they were going to recover all the stolen loot and reinvest them in programs like education, healthcare, and power. You see, the reason why terrorism will never end in Nigeria until everybody go their separate way, because that will be the only thing that will put an end to majority of this madness. But I'll get to that part. The reason why terrorism is never going to end in Nigeria, violence is never going to reduce in Nigeria, the reason why a lot of you are going to be more concerned and worried for the future of your own children, right, is because wherever you have corruption and the criminals in power fail to invest in the real and true infrastructure, then what you have will be poverty. And when you have poverty, you're going to have a rise and increasing in crime. And you see, increasing in crime doesn't just mean that pickpockets or what have you. It's going to be all crimes. And from that, people are going to what? They are going to graduate to even greater and including terrorism. Today, it is so easy to recruit Nigerians for terrorism because it seems to be lucrative. They are seeing that their government, on the one hand, has no plan to actually end the terrorism, but to rehabilitate the terrorists, while the terrorism industry continues to grow. So, APC, Egbekegbe, having destroyed Nigeria economy, ruined jobs, businesses, and their lives. Those who are left are the survivors, which are now in that bracket of the poverty capital. I'm talking about 145 million very poor Nigerians living in multi-dimensional poverty. Now, APC that didn't invest in any of such, they came back now with what they call the renewed hope. And guess what? The one they make the Minister of Power just came to tell all of you that by 2027, Nigeria will have a stable power supply because APC would have added 20,000 megawatts of electricity. Meanwhile, ask them how. Then you begin to hear things that don't make any sense because they have no plan for it. Do you understand that? They will tell you ideas that practically they are there to try out the first 8 years. And here is another one, Abi. So they have no plan of such. So those of you who currently are in Nigeria and those of you who recently left Nigeria, I want to directly sort of speak to you. And this is it. In the last 5 months, okay, these guys have not only made the economy worse, they have made your lives hell. And here are the examples. From 167 naira per liter of fuel, they told you on the 29th of May that subsidy was gone. And right then, within hours, your liter of petrol jumped from 165, 167 to over 600 naira, 700 naira, and everything else followed suit. Then they said they were reinvesting the money in what they call the subsidy palliative, another distraction to make it look like they actually had a plan. They had none. The same May 29th, when they handed over to Kolu, the dollar to naira was then at 720, 730 naira to a dollar. In a space of 5 months, that same naira to dollar has now jumped to over 1,000 naira to a dollar in 5 months. I'm coming up. Now, for those of you who have been kind of struggling through the cost of living during this period, and in fact, when majority of you began to feel like this is it, Nigeria is not for you, Abi, 5 solid months, and the effect of that is just the continuation of where Boko Haram stopped. And not just that, the issue of terrorism, banditry, they like to call them. I'm talking about those who kidnap Nigerians at will. They have done so well in the last 5 months that over 541 Nigerians have been confirmed, attacked, kidnapped, and currently in captivity across Nigeria in 5 months. So that is the same continuation of where Boko Haram stops. Right? Not just that. Currently, Tifnubu and his gang, they know where this forgery and the rest of that will end. And since you can never shame the shameless, yeah, they will rather consolidate that power. They are directing the narrative to make it pretty much like now Supreme Court of Nigeria will decide whether the certificate given to Kolu is fake or not. And in Nigeria, as you are watching this video, majority of them are made to believe that the Chicago State University confirmed that they gave Tifnubu that certificate. And if you are not satisfied, go to court. Now let's come back to the reality of those of you who are now caught in the web. I know you can lie to the rest of the world, but in reality, nobody really lied to themselves. Of course, people can lead double life, fake one, and Nigerians kind of, we have characters like that. I mean, we are still questioning the identity of the man parading himself as Nigeria president. So don't let that be something that is a shocker when people pretend. But guess what? Lately, I have been seeing people that, especially the last 8 years, these have been people who have publicly professed that no matter what happened, Nigeria is still their country. If everybody want to leave, they can leave. And I'm beginning to see a lot of them who have now, they are selling their properties, selling whatever they can sell just to get out of Nigeria. And, you know, I was talking to a few of them recently when they pointedly actually told me, and they said, Baba, if there is anybody currently in Nigeria telling you that they have hope and believe in Nigeria, okay, they can either be those who are benefiting from government or those who are involved in crime. And he actually explained that to me. He said, because those who are legit, doing their legitimate businesses, who have become the victims of all of these bad policies, corrupt policies, they are, it's like drowning. But you are not seeing the, what do you call it? You are not seeing the water. Like you are not seeing yourself in the ocean. Give me a second. There's this you and this toy that is kind of making a lot of noise. Don't go anywhere.
We try our best. It's not easy. It's not easy. In a country where people don't want you to speak the truth, they'll give you 1 million reasons why you cannot speak the truth. Well, the person is your friend, the person is your father, the person is your old schoolmate, the person you are from the same town, you are the same mother, you are the same this, you are the same that. And yet you want Nigeria to become a great country. And I see people that you once respected, you know, getting involved in all this rubbish, blaming other people for the carelessness of others. You know, it's just unfortunate. Just unfortunate. But truth is, let them say their own, let us say our own. So let posterity judge all of us. You know. So you can see people, they are struggling to defend the indefensible, struggling on television, on social media. They will continue to struggle. Nobody is talking about whether a man went to school or not. That's not the argument. That's not the argument. All the things you
Bob D will come back to you. Not yet. Sorry about that. Okay. So I was talking to those of you that would publicly, all right, defend APC. Egbekegbe. Meanwhile, as odds and a lot of people are living and looking for opportunity to leave Nigeria, you are also looking for one. And I don't know how some of you really feel that you are helping them to burn down Nigeria, make her worthless and useless, divided as it is, and then thinking you are also escaping to a safer place. I'll still come back to you. I want to address those of you who are in there. This person told me that majority of those who are doing legitimate things, who have been victims of this completely collapsed system. You know, the description was like, Nigeria right now is like a place without government, a disorganized place where people can actually do, where people are doing whatever they want. You see those who are in authority, because they are rogues, they too are doing whatever they want. It's like a banana republic right now. And rightly so. Let me give you this example. In Nigeria right now, if you, by any chance, lose your bank card, your ATM card, okay, somebody can take that and use that to take loan from loan apps. They have loan apps in Nigeria. So these loan apps would then begin to blackmail you, okay, that you used your, what do you call, you took a loan from us. And if you don't pay us back our money, we are going to publish you as either a kidnapper or somebody who is dead, like they will post it as your obituary, or they will shall kind of accuse you of something that will likely, that they will send it to all of your family, your contact. They said they will send that to all your contacts. And I'm like, wait. So who do you then report to? Do you call your bank to fix that, or you call your, for the banks is another one. In Nigeria, it has gotten so worse that lately bank workers have been arrested for giving the banking details of their customers to fraudsters that wipe out their entire savings, and the bank can't do anything because the record shows that you withdrew all your money. Now, in all of that, the first question will be, who do you tell and who do you report to? Nobody. So a situation like that, which has now made it look like, or make it more like the dog eat dog system. A lot of people, a lot of you Nigerians, are beginning to tell yourselves there is no future for you in this country. A lot of you, in fact, so many of you watching me right now. And you are right. There is no country ruled and governed the way these criminals are running Nigeria, that has any future. The other day, I saw a video, and it was the video of Baba Gio of Redeem. Now, Baba Gio of Redeem, which is the, what do you call it? The praying Christian wing of APC, Egbekegbe, by the way. Baba Gio did a video, and in that video, he was telling the Israelites, the Israelis, that RCCG worldwide stands with Israel. Sure you get. And a lot of people were reacting. Baba, have you ever kind of made video to tell people of Eastern Nigeria that are being killed and slaughtered by the Nigerian government, especially for the past 8 years? Have you kind of, you have members there. Many of your members have been killed by the Nigerian government. What about Northern Nigeria, where terrorists and all of that? What about the Middle Belt? You've never made any video like that to say, we stand with you here and there. And if there's anything that connects Christians to, so if there's anything that connects Nigeria to Israel in this whole mess, right, it's going to be religion, Christianity, Abi. If there's anything that connects Nigeria to Palestine today, it's going to be religion, Islam, Abi. But right in Nigeria, okay, what is happening in Israel, Palestine as we speak right now, the wars are happening in Nigeria. Do you want me to explain that, right? In the last few days that this war and this fight started between the Hamas and the Israelis, right? They said from both sides, they have killed over 3,000 or so people. Horrible, horrible, right? In Nigeria, right, that is not shooting and fighting war, okay? In a single month, they kill more than that 3,000 people. Nigeria is not shooting war like everybody, you know what I mean? Millions of Nigerians, over 10 million Nigerians, have been internally displaced inside Nigeria that is not fighting war. But the entire population of Israel today, it is only 1.8% of them that identify as Christians. Okay? And to so many Nigerians, they still believe that the Israel that they read about in the Bible, the Israel of the old, is the Israel of today. So connected, I mean, somehow they are connected. Say, yeah, when you look at those Muslims too, they will tell you, right, how they are Islamically connected to the Palestine. Now, you see all this religion connection and what have you, right? The same energy, for some reason, is not channeled towards the homegrown terrorism that is being supervised by the APC. You know, I don't know if majority of you know that in Israel, out of their entire population, majority of them, they are Zionists. There is another religion called Zionist or something. Sure, you know. In fact, the Christians in Israel, they are facing the same persecution the Christians in northern Nigeria or middle belt part of Nigeria are facing. Do you know that? Apart from the historical, biblical, what do you call it, locations that is located in that area, do you know that Israel is not a Christian country? You know, there are more Christians in the part called the Palestine than the Christians you have in the entire Israel. But that is actually not, that's not my point. I'm just trying to let you understand that as your leaders in Nigeria, who are supposed to channel energy, the same passion, the same energy that they try to show to things that I would say probably not their problem or their concern. If you know the real story, from the Ottoman Empire to the British Empire to the creation of states that they are now called countries in this Middle East today, and then to back to your religious books, the Quran, the Bible. But if you read all of these stories, all of them together, and then you read about the 1949, you read about the Hamas of 1991, 1992, and then you come back again to your Bible and all of that, and then you realize it today that, oh my God, there's so much difference of what you have today. But what would make those who control your mind politically in Nigeria, what would make them special or sort of dreaded if they don't continue to attach these locations? You know what I mean? These locations to the religion back in Nigeria, events happening out there, using them in relative to what they are pushing in Nigeria. Because what they need to do is that you are still under their wing. And with the connection between the politicians, your preachers, and their policies, how they manage the whole thing, then you are like, where is that future? Anyway, let's leave let's leave Israel and Palestine for now. Yes, it is. It is a political war. It's not even religious. You understand? So their story is so deeper that if you are in any way a Christian or a Muslim, right, you would condemn the real killings going on there from how it started and how it is currently going. It is barbaric. It is awful. But let's leave that, because there is more awful things going on in Nigeria that the world doesn't, or probably Nigerians themselves, unless are bothered or concerned. In Nigeria of APC, the Nigeria military are pretty much like a wing of terrorists also in Nigeria, whereby they are more involved, right, in the project of ethnic cleansing, okay, religious persecution, leading to further terrorism on their citizens. I said those who are jihadists are killing Nigerians and getting away with it, strolling straight into the into the town and take as many people as they can and then wasp back into the forest. They still do that today. And then the main infrastructure of Nigeria, the government built infrastructures like pipeline, are left in the hands of former militants or militants, people with guns. So Nigeria is being sort of, run in a way that you can do whatever you want, just never get caught. It's style of ruling. So then people say they are living today. So many businesses themselves are already losing their best hands to this Western world today. No thanks to APC. Of course, what would you do? The country and the criminals in charge, they are breeding, and then they've institutionalized the corruption in a way that they are now breeding poverty, and they are making that poverty a sort of a state policy, something that is like you need to be poor if you want to be identified as a Nigerian. And now whatever will bring you to that stage, their policies will break you, no matter how long it takes. And like I said, if you are legit, doing your things legitimately, and you don't even kind of care about government and what they do, when they talk about APC, when they talk about these guys, to you, man, leave them alone. They are all the same. But when you leave the argument of they are all the same or they are not all the same, and it's about you now, and you look around you and you're like, man, if I have a chance, a lot of people say that to me, if I have a chance now, I'm going to leave this place. If I have this, I have to get out of this place. Why is everybody leaving? And they can't even wait for you to. You know that. When you say, oh, I can't wait to leave this country, you will see the APC, cretins. They will tell you, go, 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 go. You won't be the first one. Get out. Everybody, if you don't like this country, go away. So in another, well, you've had the first 8 years of it. So in another 4, 5 years, every part of Nigeria's, government and governance institutions everywhere will be held and controlled by these criminals. Except you actually fight back. And how do you fight back? One of the questions I'm mostly asked is that, well, then what do you think we should do? Now, it is not about what you would do. It is what you are prepared to do. Okay? I mean, if you don't understand why you want to fight, how would you understand how to fight? A lot of you are at the verge of total breakdown as you are watching this video. You are, like I said, people put up appearances, pretend that everything is still fine. Say, how are you, Baba? Well, Baba, we are pushing it, we thank God. Really? Okay, that's good. How is Madam? She's fine too. How about the children? Baba, we are there, everybody is fine. So how is business? Baba, that one a long story, but we thank God. But majority of you are at the stage of busting out and saying the truth that you have held on for so long. You have been holding it, hoping that things will turn around. But rather than for them to turn around, their worst policies, their greedy criminal policies, which has always been the same thing as always, right? You are just the latest. You're going to be the latest victim that's going to kiss the dust. A lot of you struggling and all of that today. You're fighting a system that is intended to actually break you. Even when they say their intention is to make everything better for you. Who does that? That you want to make things better, but you're still doing the same thing that brought the problems. Sure, you get? Like who actually does that? Fine. A lot of you are at the verge. A lot of you, one last prayer you're asking for is that after putting your everything into living Nigeria with your family, it's like the last gamble and you are waiting to get out of that place. Abi? Now, if you don't have a chance of living, or you have left, and with all of this going on today, you have no chance or a plan of going back. Now, if you feel like this is scary, Mayegun, are you saying that if all of us run away, fine, we will never, ever wish to go back again? And is that it? Very well. That is it. No. No way. I mean, are you saying that the worst is yet to happen as those who are probably those who could save Nigeria from this APC division or divisive existence, once they leave, their rogues and criminals will take control of all of the institutions and every arm of government, everything, that will now become the norm, that those who left will never wish to go back there. And since you have no plan of going back there, that means you have a plan of dying abroad. Now, if you reject that, that is a reason for you to get yourself ready to fight, a reason to fight, whether you are abroad or you are in Nigeria. Now, I'm coming back to those abroad. You are in Nigeria. What do you want us to do? You self, come back home and face, let us fight them together. I am not talking to those who are not ready. Okay? You see, we have humbled slaves. Do you even remember the meaning of the humbled slaves? Okay, I'll tell you. The humbled slaves are the Nigerians who have put up all the fights they could, and there is no fight in them anymore. They've accepted that this is who they will be, okay? Whatever those who control Nigeria or those who rule Nigeria says they are, is who they are. So they accept it. They agree. And they are wondering, why are you not agreeing? Do you know better than these leaders? A lot of you are fighting. You don't understand anything because we have already fought before. Look at us. Look at our faces. We thought we could fight them and change them, but eventually they broke us. We lost everything, including our self-esteem. What is wrong with all of you? Why don't you just obey them and let us have peace? Those are the ones that will tell you, if we did not offend them, they will not beat me like this. I must have done something wrong for them to cut off my finger. It's my fault. And that is why I have this black eye. You know, those who have already humbled themselves, they have no fight anymore. And they don't like you. And you actually want to fight. Sophisticated morons. Those are the ones whose inner self-esteem have been broken. Okay? But they are also educated. They love to sound sophisticated. When they speak grammars. They speak empty jargons. They lack substance. These are people who lack morals and everything. And we call them sophisticated morons. Obedient fools in the rank of this APC. Those are the ones that they have no idea and they have no intention of even seeking one. To them, right? If you therefore go against these criminals that they see as role models, okay? It is more like you are an enemy, okay? And what do? Once they are told that their critics are enemies, they believe and they go all out to do whatever these rogues push forward. You get all of that? The sophisticated morons are actually one of those wars. You know, those ones who speak with absolute, no substance. Well, my message again to you is that I don't know where you belong, okay? But if you are looking for a reason to get yourselves mentally ready and the reasons why, you will fight and fight a just fight, is if you have no choice of living. A lot of you would want to live, but majority of you will not. And when that Nigeria that you dread so much begin to take everything away from you, you will remember what Mayegun said. It doesn't matter where you belong, whether you are APC or you are not. It doesn't matter where you come from. Then you will remember Mayegun said, when you reach that stage, do not turn to a sophisticated moron and humbled slaves. Look around you. There will be many, many, many more victims. But with the confusion and propaganda out there, it may take a while for you to realize this. And like I said, if you lie to the rest of the world, you won't lie to yourself. When you are losing everything, when you begin to lose everything, if you have anything at all left, when you begin to lose them, you will remember Mayegun. It is not because you are not smart. It is not because you are not intelligent enough. It is not because you don't know God. At all. It has nothing to do with you being a sinner. The real enemy taking away everything from you is no other than APC. Egbekegbe. And with what they represent, they will take everything, including your life, if you let them. So nobody is going to come and fight for you. Do you know what happened to those who have escaped? A lot of us will have to get ourselves ready. Your comfort zones are not going to be comfortable for everybody anymore. You can take that to the bank. Especially those of you who live abroad and you are loving Nigeria from abroad. When they say they are doing Nigeria independence, now your own they too much. Now they go get Ashwebi for Nigeria independence with your children, taking family pictures to show the rest of the world that Nigerian family living in California, America, Nigerian family living in Qatar. Beautiful Nigerian family living in Saudi Arabia. Amazing young Nigerian family living in Canada. You are loving Nigeria from abroad. And to so many of you, no matter what goes on in Nigeria, you are safe where you are. No, you would no longer be safe. In the next 5-10 years, with these criminals, if they last that long, you will begin to also find a reason to either join those demanding for the central breakup of this criminal contraption, or you will be back there with your own, what do you call it, with your own AK-47 roaming the street, because it won't be comfortable for us abroad too when things goes on like this. And it won't be easy for you to decide that you want to go back as well, because it's going to be like from frying pan to fire. The consequences of your support and defense of criminals in Nigeria, helping them to share the propaganda that has kept people in perpetual poverty, generational poverty, will also eventually affect all of us too. I hope I will say that. I'll keep reminding you that. However, to those of you who have managed to leave, and somehow there is something I have to say to you. Okay? You haven't escaped anything. We have not escaped anything. And if you don't believe me,